Hello, and welcome to an Elemental Shaman Guide. My name is Macht from the server Monthal, and today I will be talking you through general glyphing, specs, rotations, and gearing choices you should be going for your Elemental Shaman. This information is valid from patch 3.2.2, and in upcoming patches may become irrelevant. I'd like to start off with stating that there are two main rating specs for an Elemental Shaman, both 57.14.0, but with slight variations. The main spec you will see most Elemental Shamans use is a mana conservative spec consisting of 5 out of 5 convection, 5 out of 5 concussion, 3 of 3 in Call of Flame, 1 of 1 in Elemental Focus, 5 out of 5 in Elemental Fury, 3 out of 3 in Eye of the Storm, 2 out of 2 in Elemental Reach, 1 of 1 in Call of Thunder, 3 of 3 in Unrelenting Storm, 3 out of 3 in Elemental Precision, 5 out of 5 in Lightning Mastery, 1 of 1 in Elemental Mastery, 3 of 3 in Storm, Earth and Fire, 2 out of 2 in Booming Echoes, 2 out of 2 in Elemental Oath, 3 of 3 in Lightning Overload, 1 of 1 in Totem of Wrath, 3 out of 3 in Lava Flows, 5 out of 5 in Shamanism, and 1 out of 1 in Thunderstorm. That covers the basic spec in the Elemental tree. In the Enhancement tree you should go for 5 out of 5 in Astral Knowledge, 5 out of 5 in Thundering Strikes, 3 of 3 in Elemental Weapons, and 1 of 1 in Shamanistic Focus. This covers your general Elemental spec. For endgame rating, I like to use a spec that consists of 3 out of 3 in Elemental Warding at the cost of 0 of 3 in Eye of the Storm. This seems to help healers in such fights as XT Hard Mode, for one, and many others, such as Anubarak and Twin Valkyries. Glyphs. An Elemental Shaman does not have much choice when it comes to max DPS major glyphs. As a general rule, the glyphs you should use are Glyph of the Lightning Bolt, Glyph of Totem of Wrath, and Glyph of Flame Shock. Even with the 2 out of 5 tier 8 set bonus, you should glyph for Glyph of Flame Shock, as the critical strike chance of your Flame Shock stacks between the two. Minor glyphs are a problem for Shamans. There are not many widely available minor glyphs that boost an Elemental Shaman's DPS. In fact, there are none. The minor glyphs I have gone for are Glyph of Water Shield, Glyph of Astral Recall, and Glyph of Thunderstorm. If you feel that the 2 out of 5 tier 8 bonus is enough chance for your Flame Shock to crit to your liking, I would recommend glyphing for Glyph of Flame Tongue Weapon, but that glyph is not ideal. An Elemental Shaman's rotation changes all the time, according to your gear level, haste, spell power, and crit. All of these stats contribute to how you set up your rotation. At the moment, my Lightning Bolt fully raid buffed has a cast time of 1.3 seconds. This means that there is no way I can make a solid number of Lightning Bolts to fit between the cooldown of my Lava Burst. Instead, you must make a decision mid-fight on whether it is better to wait the 0.5 seconds for your Lava Burst cooldown, or whether it is better to cast another Lightning Bolt. General rotations dictate Flame Shock, Lava Burst, Lightning Bolt until Lava Burst is off cooldown, then Lava Burst again, refreshing your Flame Shock upon the last tick. Note: Flame Shock is worth more to your DPS if you cast it while moving rather than letting it tick away. Perfect examples of this is Thorum. If you refresh your Flame Shock every time you move, it's worth more to your DPS. Many people say that you should use Chain Lightning. They are mistaken. At a point in your gear, it is better for your DPS to use Chain Lightning, but since Lightning Bolt scales a lot better with spell power than Chain Lightning, that phase in your gear is not for long. So Chain Lightning is not good to work into your rotation, as it costs 3 times the amount of mana that a Lightning Bolt does, for less damage. Gearing choices. For your gear, you should use this table when deciding if an item is an upgrade. Spell power before haste, haste before crit, crit before intellect. Some dispute that crit is good for elemental shamans, but with the nature of the spec, you should, in eye level 213 gear, sit around 20% crit as is, so gemming and enchanting for crit is not a good idea. In my current gear, eye level 245 mostly, fully raid buffed, I will sit on just under 3.5k spell power with over 1000 haste and about 32% crit. It's all about balance. I like to use 1000 haste as a benchmark for my gear. The reason for this high number of haste is accomplishable is with the totem of electrifying wind, which grants 200 haste when you use a lightning bolt. With proven 100% uptime, I count that onto my haste to give you my total number. Same as with a lot of classes, it's all about a balance between crit and haste, with spell power always coming first. Gemming. For gems, socket bonuses are not to be worried about, unless they are single spell power socket bonuses. Any other gem socket should be a runed cardinal ruby, which grants 23 spell power. Your meta gem should be a chaotic skyflare diamond, which grants 23 critical strike rating, or 21, and 3% critical strike increased damage. For this to work, you need 2 blue gems to take effect. I recommend glowing dreadstones for these slots. That's a 12 spell power and 15 stamina gem. The hit cap for an elemental shaman is 289 for horde and 264 for alliance. These caps come before anything. That's why, unfortunately, I have had to put a 20 hit gems into my gloves. This concludes my guide to elemental shamans. I hope I've provided you with helpful information for your elemental shaman. Please feel free to contact me anyway if you want to ask any more questions. Bye.